Phoenix here, bringing you guys Matchday 15 preview and predictions. Listen. It's not been good enough recently, okay? Midweek fixtures, again, disappointing. After the international break, we've not been at the level we were pre-international break. That needs to be addressed, fixed and sorted quickly. The room for failure does not exist on this channel, not with the level we are aspiring to reach and the level we already know we're at. We're targeting minimum 75-80% correct outcomes this weekend, 25% correct spoilers. So let's begin immediately with, of course, the games tomorrow. Aston Villa versus Arsenal. Big one here. First against third. Both teams in relatively good form. I feel the main question mark in this game is Emi Martinez. If Emi Martinez is fit, there's going to be one result. If he isn't, there's going to be another result. It's that important. Saliba's still a question. Declan Rice, of course, came off against Brentford. I expect him to start. And then even if it's not, of course, it'll be probably Timber and Hincapie if Saliba is unable to start, which against Brentford still done the job. Then, of course, do you start with Gyok? Do you start with Merino? Arteta has options, which, of course, will mean a strong bench. With Villa, Watkins has to be back in the starting lineup after the incredible showing against Brighton. And like I said, Martinez hopefully will be fully fit. If Martinez is fit, I looked at all the possible scenarios. I don't see a way Arsenal win this game if Emi Martinez is fit. Yes, this is a stadium Arsenal have had recent success in, a lot more than certainly many teams have. But with Watkins in his current form, with Emi leading the back line, yes, Villa are leaking goals, but I don't see Arsenal, even with them having the best defense in the world, stopping Villa from scoring at the other end. Villa will score. Even though it's an early kickoff, I expect goals in this. I expect Aston Villa to defeat Arsenal Football Club. It'll be Aston Villa 2, Arsenal 1 to kick off a blockbuster Super Saturday. You know my thoughts. Arsenal fans again will come and attack me, but the fact of the matter is this team is being massively overrated, especially their attack. And Villa, Unai Emery will set up his team perfectly in order to counter Arsenal's strengths and exploit their weakness to blow the title race wide open. Next up is Bournemouth versus Chelsea, I believe. Yes, indeed. Of course, Chelsea coming off that midweek defeat, which I told you. Bournemouth are in bad form. Of course, they're falling off a cliff here, haven't won in the last 5. Chelsea, I expect Reece James to be back in the lineup, Fofana to be back in the lineup. No Caicedo, but Palmer also expected to start. Again, keep an eye on the rain percentages, of course, because they will play a part. For me, this has all the makings of a comfortable Chelsea win. I don't see how Bournemouth could cause Chelsea much problems with those players starting. And equally, yes, there's still major questions about Chelsea's attack. However, Bournemouth have been leaking goals left, right and centre. They haven't got the players, also the defensive midfield players, to stop Cole Palmer. If he's even on it, it will be his first start in some time. But Bournemouth has been a problem for them. They don't have that natural destroyer in front of the defence. And Chelsea could and should be able to exploit that with both Palmer and Enzo Fernandez. Bournemouth 0, Chelsea 2, Chelsea win. Fantastic odds. Up next is the Manchester City versus Sunderland game. Surely not, right? Surely Sunderland. They've just had away Anfield. They had the incredible win over the weekend to come back from 2 goals behind against Bournemouth. How much energy do they have left against the City team who, yes, went life and death with Fulham midweek, but a City team who have the strength in numbers. They can change players a lot more than people think. Van Bush has barely had any minutes. I'd like to see him get a start in this game, but of course it probably will be mostly the same. Cherki had a fantastic cameo, hasn't started the last 2. I thought he'll start against Fulham. He should be back in the starting 11. It's projected that Stones will start 90% rain in Manchester. Sunderland, maybe with back 5 or back 4. We don't really know because, again, they can cause any team problems, right, when they attack. But for me, they're not going to have much left, Sunderland, after that trip at Anfield. They were fantastic that game. They ran their socks off. How much energy do they have left to try and go back-to-back at Anfield and Etihad? That would be, I feel, a step too far. Manchester City 2, Sunderland 0. Take the City minus 1.5. I really do believe City will win this game by more than 1 goal. Up next, we have Spurs versus Brentford. You couldn't write the script any better, could you? A bad result here for Thomas Frank against his former team, and it could spell the end for Thomas Frank. Brentford, of course, terrible away from home, right? Spurs, best team away from home, at home, terrible. So it makes it all the more interesting. Brentford rested players midweek against Spurs' rivals Arsenal because Keith Andrews must have been like, well, we believe we can target the Spurs game a lot more than we can target the Arsenal game. And can you blame him? Probably not. But even with their second team, Brentford, or a lot of players rested midweek, I thought they looked pretty damn good against Arsenal. Which means I look at this game here, you look at the projected lineups, and obviously I think Thomas Frank has no choice but to try and attack. And I think that's exactly what Brentford want. I think Brentford are going to pick Spurs completely apart on the counter-attack. I really do fear this could be the end for Thomas Frank. I don't see a scenario where Spurs win this game. For me, I've got Spurs 1, Brentford 2, Brentford to finish Thomas Frank's tenure at Spurs. Both teams to score should be a lock, as we've seen with a lot of the recent Spurs matches. I don't see a way Spurs stop Brentford from scoring. And equally at the other end, I think Spurs should get the 1 goal. But I've gone Brentford to win the game. Take your pick, Brentford double chance, both teams to score. I think both are a given. And heck, even go further with the Brentford win. Keith Andrews, wow. I'll hold my hands up in the air and say, I didn't see this coming from Brentford this season. And I think they'll continue by beating Spurs away. Then we shift over to Italy. Inter versus Como. Como head into this game undefeated in 12 matches. Obviously, Inter wanted Fabregas in the summer. We couldn't get him. He's continuing his remarkable run with Como. Inter head into this game with plenty of goals in our locker. Our attack is on fire. Every single one of our 4 strikers is scoring goals. And we may have discovered in Ended Youth, I don't think it'll be Luis Enrique. I think it'll be Ended Youth starting on the right. Obviously, and then probably Lauti and Thuram up front. In midfield, Zielinski's playing some fantastic football. Frattesi looked good in midfield. So, for me, both teams to score. I don't see Como stopping Inter. Inter will have 2 goals in us. Do Como have 2 or more? I can't see it. For me, similar to a few of the others, I've gone Inter 2, Como 1. Inter to win this game, both teams to score could be combined together. Listen, when you're approaching a team that hasn't lost in this many games, it's not going to be easy. And Nico Pass will have success in between the lines. That's been Inter's problem, right? Like the gap between the midfield and defense, that's where players can get in and cause problems. And Nico Pass, he's the very best in the league at doing that. And of course, Inter do still want Nico Pass to potentially join next season. I'm sure he'll be up to put on a clinic. And also watch out for Como's wide players, because of course that's another area Inter could suffer in. So expect both teams to score. But like I said, I don't see how Como can contain Inter's attack. We're very strong going forward, as good as their defense has been. 2-1 Inter. Next up, Betis versus Barcelona in Spain. Betis didn't get to play midweek. Barcelona, of course, had that big game against Atletico Madrid. The reason Betis didn't play, of course, is because of the Super Cup. Barca will be involved in that. And Betis are approaching this game with just 1 defeat in their last 17 games. I believe that was against Atletico Madrid. So immediately for me, even though Barca have been in good form, the Betis plus 1.5 is tremendous value, right? Then I look at Betis double chance because with Barcelona, Olmo just picked up an injury, right? Pedro, of course, should be back in the starting 11 again. Well, after the Atletico game, she should start again. And they're projecting Ferrin ahead of Lewandowski. Barca could start with this attack that I've been dying to see. Rafinha 10, Rashford left, who's getting back in the team. Yamal right, Lewandowski up front, which is all well and good. But that Kobarsi Gerard Martin defense still continues. So I do feel like Betis will get a goal. I've got Betis 1, Barcelona 1. It'll be a scrappy game. Betis will look to lower the tempo as much as they can. And I do feel like Barca will find it very tough, especially after that midweek fixture. Take the Betis double chance. If you want to be completely certain, Betis plus 1.5. Barcelona will not win away. Betis. And last but not least, for Super Saturday, is the Leeds versus Liverpool game, which probably one of the toughest games to predict for this upcoming week. And Leeds coming off that fantastic game against Chelsea. Again, how much energy have Leeds wasted? Liverpool, of course, when we expected them to kick on from that win against West Ham, dropped points against Sunderland. The data suggests Liverpool are getting unlucky. What does Slot do now? Is this an excuse for him to put Salah back in the starting 11 because he's going to claim, well, look, I benched Salah and we didn't win? It'll be crazy to think Salah wouldn't start for 3 in a row. I still would love to see the 4-3-1-2, put Versen behind Isaac and Ekitike. I'm still begging to see that. But of course, the stubborn manager, I feel like, will continue with the same old formation. Leeds picking up some momentum with the back three. And what's caused Liverpool problems this season? Defend deep, go long, go direct. Very close game to call. But I've gone with Liverpool to win this game narrowly. Expect plenty of goals. Leeds 2, Liverpool 3. Liverpool to just about nick it by outscoring the opposition. I'd like the odds again on Isaac to score. I think he'll get back on the score sheet again, back-to-back away matches. Then we shift to Super Sunday, well, which is, to be fair, anything but a Super Sunday. We begin immediately in the evening, really, in the games that the algorithm has factored, with the biggest game of the weekend. Napoli versus Juventus. Juventus haven't won at the stadium since 2019, I believe. Almost, I think, 7 defeats in a row away Napoli. Funnily enough, of course, Conte in charge of Napoli. Spalletti makes his return to Napoli after winning the league for them, in charge of Juventus. What kind of multiverse are we living in? Napoli have picked up a crucial injury ahead of this game. Lobotka is out. Napoli are back in form. They've won all their games, apart from the midweek one, which they won on penalties, since they've shifted to the back three. Juventus still undefeated under Spalletti. To give you an idea of the combined 11, gone with Milinkovic-Savic in goal, coming off the incredible penalty. Kalulu, I think, has been fantastic for Juventus this season. Rahmani, he's back in the team. Napoli's defense has been leveled up back to what it was. Buongiorno makes it up as well, makes up the back line. Di Lorenzo, Cambiaso on the wings. Cambiaso in particular, watch out, because I believe he'll be the key. They'll kind of be basically up against each other. Then I went Thuram and McTominay. I went with Yildiz, Neres in behind Højlund. So Napoli have the edge, right? But the players that Napoli have over Juventus in the combined 11, it's close. Jonathan David is coming off his best performance midweek in a Juventus shirt in the cup game. And I'm going to tell you straight away, Napoli are not winning this. So Juve double chances as lock and as certain as it gets. I will go one step further. I've got Juventus to win. In the form Yildiz is in at the moment, it is the perfect game for Juventus. If Napoli want to try and impose themselves, and they leave the space there with Yildiz attacking Napoli's weakness, which I think will be basically between Beckham and Di Lorenzo. That's where Yildiz will operate. I've got Napoli 0, Juventus 2. Juventus to win. Double chance if you want to be completely safe. But there is no way Napoli win this game. Spalletti will go to the Maradona, his former stadium, and emerge victorious. And the talk will be Juventus back in the title race under Spalletti. Then we shift to Spain. Real Madrid versus Celta Vigo. Real Madrid back at the Bernabeu, and Real Madrid at home have been perfect. 6 games, 6 wins, just 3 goals conceded. But watch out, because Celta Vigo away from home, of course, have also picked up 11 points from just 6 matches. Numbers suggest that basically a top 3 team away from home. And those are the games Celta love playing, right? Counter-attack. They know they can get at teams. They have goals in them. So again, I like the idea of both teams to score in this one. But the manner in which Real Madrid played midweek, I don't think they'll change anything apart from the forced substitution that they'll have to make. Trent is a big loss, because you look at that game against Athletic midweek. He was the guy pinging those passes from the back, because when you have this midfield like Bellingham, Valverde, Tchouameni, Camavinga, he's not projected here. But I'd be surprised if Camavinga doesn't start, considering how good he was midweek. Then you need a player of Trent's ability to ping passes. But he's not available. He's out for 2 months. He'll be a big loss. I like the idea of Celta Vigo plus 1.5 in this game. I've gone for a common scoreline here. Real Madrid 2, Celta Vigo 1. Real Madrid will win it simply because of the momentum they've built up and how strong they have been at home. But Celta will cause them issues. And like I said, I love the value as well on the Celta plus 1.5. I don't see Real Madrid winning that game by more than a goal, with Trent missing. Then, last but not least, we go to Monday, where we have Manchester United. 2 games before the United one. Milan trip to Torino. Milan just eliminated from the cup against Lazio, which, to be honest with you, I don't think they'll be too upset. Napoli had the same thing. They got eliminated at the first hurdle last season, and Napoli went on to win the league. Torino in a really bad run of form. Milan, of course, in a good run of form. However, the question is, will Pulisic be fit? When he's not fit to start, Milan clearly are lacking and missing something. And he's not projected to start in the game on Monday. Zapata should continue starting for Torino. Watch out for him. Milan, of course, have been very strong defensively, but I have major reservations. To go to a place like Torino, even if they're in bad form, and win, having just played midweek as well, I don't see it. For me, this has got the makings of a dull game of football. Torino 1, Milan 1, under 2.5, draw, locked in. For me, I've not been impressed whatsoever with Milan. When Pulisic comes back, sure, their attack is flowing more, but I don't see it. And then last but not least, Wolves versus Manchester United. Wolves haven't even scored a goal in the last 5 games. 0 wins this season. It'll be ever so fitting if Amorim gives them their first win. United should win this game. Will they? Hell to the no. Hell to the no. It'll be double draw Monday. Wolves 1, Manchester United 1. For United, Mason Mount, I expect back in the starting 11. De Ligt as well. Yoro probably, but Mazraoui should start. We'll see. Actually, I think it'll be Mazraoui, De Ligt, and Shaw if De Ligt is fit. So probably no Yoro. That attack, Xerxes for me has to start. Obviously, Amorim made a big mistake taking him off. Then it'll be Mount and Mbeumo, probably Mount instead of Cunha. I don't think we'll see Cunha starting against his former team, but we will see. Either way, United should win. They're not under this manager. Wolves 1, United 1. That sums up this weekend's spoilers. A lot of chiching to be made. We have to get redemption. redemption begins immediately tomorrow. I'll catch you guys on the streams. Tonight I'll be live on stream with the World Cup draw only on Twitch. Have a good one. Phoenix out.